Hello and welcome to yet another Doctor Who DVD review. In this DVD review I shall be looking at the Time of the Doctor and other 11th Doctor
now,
specials. This story, I wasn't exactly looking forward to it. To be honest, I wasn't looking forward to Christmas because of this story. Because I love Matt Smith's Doctor. And it's just a bit hard to say goodbye to him, really. But I'll do a video on Matt Smith, a whole video dedicated to Matt Smith at some point. But yeah, let's look at the cover of this DVD. So, again, the BBC have basically used one of their poster artworks, which is fair enough. So let's quickly go through the cover. So we've got the Doctor, Handles, Clara, Dalek, Weeping Angel, Building, some explosions, Wooden Cyberman, Silent, a Dalek there flying, some spaceships, and the clock tower. The background is a clock which is about to strike number 12, which is a clever little nod to this. Then it's got Doctor Who, Time of the Doctor plus other 11th Doctor specials. Now this is the only DVD at the moment where you can buy Time of the Doctor, which is a bit of a con because you're getting forever stories, which I don't really mind, but it would have been nice if this got a solo release, but hey, you can't complain because this was quite cheap for what you're getting. So yeah, let's look at the spine. The spine continues that clock effect, as you can see, and we've got a little picture of Matt Smith there. Doctor Who, Time of the Doctor. On the back we've got some pictures from the story, which is all very nice. Bit of bio on the story. So the bonus features are Behind the Lens. Now again, this has been released online, which really does annoy me, but what can you do? Tales from the TARDIS, that looks at cast and crew members talk about their time on Doctor Who. Then we've got Farewell to Matt Smith, which was broadcast on Christmas Day on BBC America, which I was a bit annoyed about, but Britain didn't get to see that really, so I'm pleased they've included that on the DVD. It also includes the other 11th Doctor specials, which are the Christmas Carol, which I'll quickly run through now. That's a pretty good episode. Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, I don't really like that much, and the Snowmen, possibly my favourite one of the Christmas eps. Not including this one because I will go through that in a minute. So if we look inside, disc 1 contains all the other Christmas episodes, and disc 2 obviously contains the Time of the Doctor. The artwork is the picture behind is basically Matt Smith and Jenna Coleman walking around the town, which we probably all seen the photo, so I don't really need to show you. So my thoughts on the Time of the Doctor are, it's a brilliant story. Now, loads of people have been discussing whether it is a good story, and is it a good story for Matt's Doctor to leave. I thought it was, a good story for him to leave. Yeah, I'm just going to go through some bad points and then I'll go on to my good points. So, bad points are the story seemed rushed, especially when it reached the battle scenes with Tasha Lem narrating over it. It seemed like, the story's like, come on, we've got to get to the big moment of, the big speech at the clock tower. I thought this story would work a lot better if it was a two-parter, because then it would have given the story time to breathe, and it wouldn't be rushing some of the main plot ideas, like the cracks in time, being Gallifrey in a pocket universe. I thought if the story was a two-parter, we could have seen Clara go through one of the cracks in time, plead with the Time Lords more than her just up against the wall going, give the Doctor a new regeneration cycle please, he deserves it. I thought it would have been a lot better if Clara went to Gallifrey and sort of pleaded there. Well, it would have been a really good scene, and would have explained a lot more instead of having this magical crack appear that sounds so wrong, but hey, let's go with it. In the sky and just, just look up and go, oh, what's that? And then the regeneration energy pours through. I thought that would have been a more, decent way of having Clara, talk to the Time Lord. That would have been an interesting thing to see. But sadly we didn't get that. Now, because of the timing issue, we didn't get to see the monsters as much as we should have done. I think the monster didn't get much justice was the Weeping Angels. I thought it was a really good idea of them sort of climbing out of the snow and the snow sort of blocking the Doctor and Clara's vision. But I thought the Weeping Angels, they're one of the most terrifying, scary enemies the Doctor has ever faced. And it just seemed a bit rushed, really. I didn't really like that. I thought the Weeping Angels could have had a bit more in the story, a bit more of an impact. Because they are Maximus' favourite monster, so you would assume them to get a bit of more screen time. Yeah. So that's basically the bad points. I'll go on to the regeneration in a bit. But the good points are Matt Smith's performance. This could be arguably one of his best performances. Some of the highlights of his performance for me was when he was aging and we saw him age, and I just thought it was brilliant. Seeing how he portrayed an older version of his character, and I thought a brilliant scene where that is really explored was when him and Clara are, putting a cracker in. He's too frail to be able to sort of make it go bang. That was quite a touching moment, and other moments I thought was Handel's death. Now Handel's, when I first watched it, I wasn't really keen on it. I was just like, I don't really like the character. But since rewatching it, you can understand the pain the Doctor went through. He spent 300 years with this cyberhead. The only person he can talk to sensibly, really, who has the same sort of knowledge as him. So you could sort of feel the pain the Doctor is going through at that moment in time. And I thought that was a beautiful scene where him and Clara are just talking, and they see the sort of the sun on the planet, and that sort of reminds him why he's fighting. I thought it was a really beautiful moment. And really just something Matt's Doctor, that he won't abandon anyone. He may be gone for a while, but he always comes back, which I find is beautiful, and that sort of is reminiscent, well, the boy called Barnaby is sort of reminiscent to Amy in a way. Also going back to the old the old Doctor, when he sort of says, "Don't worry, Barnable, I've got a plan," and that person's like, "Oh, I'm not called Barnable." That sort of makes you sympathise that he's starting to lose his memory, that Matt's losing his memory, which isn't good. But one of my favourite moments from this is the clock tower scene. That is a beautiful scene where you've got Matt doing the air guitar regeneration, as I call it. So this is just a brilliant moment because he does one of his brilliant speeches, because Matt is famous for the big speeches, and for that it really does define his Doctor and really does set him apart. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the last story we're going to see sort of a load of energy in it, because I don't think Capaldi would be doing an air guitar sort of thing. He could do, but I don't think that would suit his Doctor. I think that Capaldi's era is going to be more reminiscent of the classic series. So, yeah. A good thing is it ties up all the loose ends. Whether this was Moffat's grand scheme to finish it all off in Matt's finale, I like to think it was, but I thought it was really good how everything sort of slots in, and it gives us a clean slate, a new start, which I think every regeneration story should tie up all the loose ends from that Doctor's era, and this story does it beautifully. Yeah, so let's go on to the regeneration itself. Now, when we saw sort of Matt's boots walk up the stairs, well, you see the character walk up the stairs, I thought that could have been Capaldi. I thought, oh, here we go, Capaldi's already here, he's already regenerated. But no, it was Matt, which was quite good because we actually get to see him regenerate. I thought that was a beautiful moment where he goes, you know, I will not forget one day, not one day, I swear. I will always remember when the Doctor was me. I thought that was a really beautiful moment, especially when he looked at the camera to sort of reassure the fans that it will be okay. I will always remember that I am the Doctor. I'm never gonna forget the wonderful times I've had doing the show. And I thought that was a really good moment, and had some sort of brilliant Matt Smith things from his era, like fish fingers and custard on the console. I thought that was good. But the emotions really started to get me when he took his bow tie off. Like, he's just going, oh, they were cool, but I'm probably not going to think they're cool anymore, so I've got to get rid of the bow tie. So yeah, that's sort of when it got a bit emotional, for me anyway. And then we had the shocking surprise cameo of Karen Gillan. I thought that was a beautiful scene, you know, that it sort of goes back to the Angels Take Manhattan, where Amy goes, Raggedy Man, goodbye, and you know, that sort of goes back to this, where it goes, Raggedy Man, good night. You know, they've said goodbye and now they're saying good night. It's just a beautiful moment, and it sort of detracts from Clara's character a bit, you know, but Clara's just left on the sidelines, just going, oh, what's going on? But now onto the actual regeneration, or as people are calling it, the sneeze regeneration. Now, a lot of people have complained about it being too quick. I'd thought that at first, but since watching it, you can see why it was so fast, because the regeneration cycle was taking a bit of time. It just suddenly clicked into place, hensing the speedy regeneration, or the speedy face change. So that sort of explains that. Now, ever since the new series has done the regeneration, the TARDIS magically appears to be crashing. When sort of Matt set the controls, the TARDIS is all fine, flying along, and then as soon as Capaldi arrives, it's like, oh, we're crashing, we've got to do something. It's just to keep it exciting and fresh. You know, how's the Doctor and Clara going to get out of this one? But I think Matt and Jenna has had a brilliant relationship, and I really have enjoyed seeing the 11th Doctor and Clara develop, and I will miss seeing that, really, because it is beautiful to see that. Yeah, so that's basically been my thoughts on the time of the Doctor. This seems quite a long review, I'm sorry about that, but hey, I wanted to get my full thoughts down on this wonderful story. So my next review will be of the 10th Planet, the first regeneration story. So I've reviewed the current, and now I'm going to review the first regeneration story. So yeah, thank you for watching this review. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Comment down below on your thoughts on this story. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on this, in my opinion, epic finale for the 11th Doctor, or 13th, whatever you want to class him as. But yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.